keeps getting shorter and shorter. I'm so honored by this award, and even more, I'm so humbled to be in the company of all these wonderful women, and it's quite an extraordinary group, present company excluded. And thank you so much to all the staff who I've driven crazy for weeks of not meeting deadlines, but barely meeting them. If you take a look at the op-ed page of your local newspaper, and I'm hoping that some of you still have local newspapers and that some of you still subscribe to them, you may notice that, I didn't think that was that funny either, actually. It's a sad day in my industry. You may notice that there are not many women columnists. Lots of Jewish columnists, yes, but not many women, Jewish or otherwise. This is no accident, but I don't actually think it's the result of discrimination, at least not in the typical way. Rather, I think it's a part of what I call good girl syndrome. Good girls, such as myself, don't necessarily think that what they have to say is the most brilliant statement on the subject du jour. If you ask an opinion page editor, you will tend to hear that they get many fewer submissions from women than they do from men, and that sometimes, even when they reach out to women to write on a particular topic, the women will worry, and as women tend to do, out loud to the editor, about whether they'll have something important enough to say. When my boss took me to lunch one day and offered me the chance to write a weekly column, my first word was yes, and my second two words were, I'm terrified. Somehow I don't think that's what the guys say. Good girls get A's, and I can tell you from several years of experience writing a column every week, it is not possible to get an A every week. And to this day, my husband can drive me crazy, and he's here, so he knows this, with this simple line, this one's a B+. and the reason he can drive me crazy with that line is my mother's, who's here, who was never satisfied with a B+. Bless her heart. Well, some of them are B+, and some of them, I can't cope with less than a B+, but I can cope with the B+. And I raise this because I think it's very important for us as women to get over the notion that we have to deliver perfection in everything we do. We need to learn to swagger, or at least get comfortable pretending to swagger, even if we're quaking inside. Being a woman columnist requires you to think a bit about whether you're a columnist who happens to be a woman, or whether being a woman is an integral part of the column that you write. And my answer to this question is both. I have written columns that, as my boss once said jokingly, are as boring as any man's. They revealed nothing about my gender because it wasn't relevant, but I've also written columns that are very much and very deliberately about being a woman, about being a mother, in fact, actually about being a Jewish mother, and about being a working mother. And this was a very considered choice on my part because I really, when I had the fantastic and unexpected opportunity to write a column, I really wanted to show that you can be a successful columnist if you write one week about arcane questions of healthcare policy and the next about celebrating your daughter's bat mitzvah. And one thing that I've tried to convey to my colleagues, to my readers, to my daughters, and today to you, is that you can be the entire package. And so I'm actually going to string two pearls onto this beautiful strand that we've heard today. One is, don't be timid, or at least if you're feeling timid, don't let it show. And the second is, don't let anybody pigeonhole you, and don't pigeonhole yourself. Thank you.